Hello viewers, it began as an ordinary night out, just some fun with friends, but what followed quickly spiraled into something no one could have predicted. On July 1st, Kandi Burruss, daughter of Grammy-winning artist and Real Housewives of Atlanta star Kandi Burruss, became the center of a storm that swept across social media and exposed the fragile line between parental guidance and a child's fight for independence. At 22, fresh out of NYU, Kandi should have been starting her adult journey carefully, but instead she drew headlines with a shocking $14,000 nightclub bill. Half of it came from her own credit card, the rest split with a friend. This wasn't just casual fun, it was bottle service, velvet ropes, and high-end tequila, a night that looked more like a statement than a party. The moment Kandi spoke about it openly, the internet pounced. Clips circulated, memes surfaced, and judgment rolled in. People accused her of living in fantasy, of wasting money without understanding its value. But the reaction inside her own home cut deeper than anything online. Kandi, who had built her empire with discipline and sacrifice, was furious. She confronted Kandi on camera, her voice breaking as she questioned why her daughter was throwing away such amounts. For Kandi, it wasn't only about money, it was about control, about the fear that her daughter was veering off into a dangerous path she couldn't pull her back from. Their argument escalated to the point where Kandi, overwhelmed by emotion, tossed a napkin in Kandi's face. It wasn't anger so much as desperation, a plea for her daughter to wake up. Kandi's frustrations weren't new. She had made clear months before that Kandi had 6 months after graduation to get a job or head to law school, otherwise financial support would stop. Kandi, however, brushed it off, insisting she was managing just fine. She listed her brand deals with makeup and hair companies, social media partnerships, and even DJ gigs as proof that she was carving her own way. To her, $7,000 on a bill wasn't reckless, it was normal in her world. But to Kandi, it screamed immaturity. Beneath the glittering deals, she still saw her daughter as unprepared for the realities of adulthood. The tension between them wasn't just financial, it was generational. Kandi had grown up in the glare of cameras and constant comparisons to her mother, while Kandi came from a life of building success from scratch. For Kandi, spending big in New York was part of trying to matter in a city that measured worth by appearances. For Kandi, it was a terrifying sign her daughter might be drowning in a lifestyle she didn't fully understand. Then came the moment that silenced everything. During their heated exchange, Kandi finally let her emotions slip through, confessing that no matter what she did, she felt she could never be enough compared to her mother. She admitted the exhausting pressure of being a celebrity's daughter, of having to constantly prove herself, and even revealed that sometimes she spent money just to feel like she mattered. Those words shifted the narrative completely. What had looked like arrogance was suddenly seen as pain. Behind the scenes, the situation was heavier than the cameras revealed. Kandi had recently reconnected with her biological father, a man absent for most of her life but suddenly resurfacing with apologies and promises. This complicated reunion created fresh wounds and added tension to her relationship with Kandi, who had long been Kandi's protector. The $14,000 bill wasn't rebellion, it was a coping mechanism, a way to cover up emotions too raw to share. When the episode aired, the public mocked her, calling her spoiled, another Nepo baby. But Kandi chose not to hide. She posted on Instagram, unfiltered, saying people only saw the spending but never the pressure behind it. That simple post shifted the conversation, with fans and influencers suddenly recognizing her vulnerability. Even Kandi began to soften, later admitting in an interview that her daughter was navigating a world far more intense than the one she had grown up in, and that it took courage to survive it. Soon after, Kandi made a bold move, announcing her own lifestyle blog and private DJ sets. The internet was divided again, some saw it as chasing clout, others as a sign she was turning her struggles into purpose. But Kandi stood her ground, declaring she wasn't disappearing, even if she didn't have it all figured out. For once, Kandi didn't interfere. Instead, she quietly acknowledged that she had to let Kandi make her own mistakes, that growth sometimes came through stumbling. In the end, their story wasn't about bottle service or reckless spending. It was about a young woman trying to define herself outside of her mother's shadow, and a mother learning that love sometimes means letting go. Kandi may not have it all sorted yet, But she's fighting to matter on her own terms, and that, more than the price of any nightclub bill, is what truly defines her journey.